You are now listening to part 2 of our Frank Dux interview. This is part 2. Welcome back to Mavericks Dojo.
Same thing to you that this guy used. They actually took my own footage, and they got a copy of it, took pictures off of that, and the guy brought it in like it was proof that he was there. But I wasn't allowed to show that that's what he got was footage that was on a tape that was sold all over the internet. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Of Bercy, of my demonstration there. So they basically were able to pull the wool over the jury's eyes.
Wow. My goodness.
Okay? And that's what happened. And I didn't let that bitter me. I just knew once I was done with Van Damme, he was done career-wise. And he was. You know? He hasn't had a single... Since I walked away from Van Damme, and he couldn't rob me of my ideas anymore. He couldn't manipulate me anymore. His career went in the toilet. And that's the fact. Along with Sheldon Lettich, who kept coming in behind my back and writing my stories and taking credit for them as his own.
Did you have a friendship with Van Damme at all before all these things started happening? Or
I did. I watched the drugs basically change him.
Oh, wow.
And they changed his brain chemistry, and he's never been the same since.
I know he had an altercation with Chuck Zeno at a restaurant or something like that.
Yeah, he got it with Chuck Zeno at Scores. Chuck used to be his bodyguard, and Chuck caught him bad-mouthing him and saying some pretty stupid things. And Chuck just called him out on it and beat him like a little bitch.
Oh, man. Unbelievable. That's crazy.
No, he beat him. He beat him like a little bitch, and Jean-Claude was crying, laying on the ground.
Oh, wow. Wow. The thing is, oh, man. Let me ask you, since we have like 3 minutes left, the situation with Victor Moore and Bruce Lee, how did you know about that? Like, were you friends with
I was
Victor
there.
Moore? You were there?
I was 11 years old. I was there. That's how I met Vic Moore.
Oh, my.
You know, and Bruce Lee used to work out at Bill Riyosaki's school. You know, he used to be a friend of Bill Riyosaki, and he'd heard that I was faster than him. In fact, if you talk to Joe Cinda, who's the vice president of Warner Brothers publicity and marketing, he'll tell you that Bruce actually asked him to find me. You know, and the reason was, you know, the reason was Vic Moore and Bruce Lee had a test of speed in 1967 at the Long Beach Internationals. It wasn't anything planned. It was just kind of like a thing that happened. It was Robert Trias, who opened the first commercial school of martial arts in the United States, had Victor Moore as one of his proteges, and Ed Parker, who put on the Long Beach Invitationals, God rest his soul, he had Bruce Lee. And they each one said, oh, my guy's quicker than your guy. So they decided to have a test, a game. And it was, as I recall, they had 3 shots. Each guy got 3 shots to the other guy's chest. And, you know, and they get a point for blocking and a point for scoring. And Vic Moore beat Bruce Lee 4-2. And that's the reality of it. But all people see is this video of Bruce Lee throwing a back knuckle strike to Victor's head, which is laughable because the fight, it was supposed to be to the chest. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
And so that's why he broke out laughing, and he did it twice to him. He did it, you know, one time that way, and then when he was laughing and looking off, he went again against him. And that's all you see. They hide the real footage, the complete footage that shows, you know, Victor Moore beating Lee. And they went off to the side, and this is something nobody talks about, but they went off to the side, and Lee was trying to show him his concepts and sparred with Moore, and I got to tell you, he didn't have a chance. You know? Wow. And that's not taking anything away from Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was my hero. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
And what he wrote, I loved. But, you know, Victor Moore was super talented. He fought and beat everybody. Chuck Norris, Mike Stone, Joe Louis. He fought and beat them all.
How come he didn't get any...
He also lost to him. You know, don't get me wrong. You understand what I'm saying?
Wait, he lost to...
He fought Joe Louis, lost to him. He fought him again and won. You understand?
Oh, I see. Okay.
You know,
How come Victor Moore has no publicity on this kind of stuff? I mean,
he was locked out. He was blackballed because he's black to start with, and number two, he beat every one of the icons that Black Bolt magazine was making its money on. It's making its money on promoting Mike Stone. It's making its money promoting, you know, Chuck Norris. It's making its money promoting, Joe Louis. Do you understand what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
Or the competitive magazine, which was Curtis Wong's outfit. So Curtis Wong, I think, he handled Joe Louis. So basically, he wasn't allowed to be in either one. But if you look at Official Karate, which is on the East Coast, he is featured in a couple of magazines there, and he's also talked about how he beat Joe Louis. But not too many people are familiar with Official Karate. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.